The Houston Rockets, for me, are in the playoff lock tier.
I put them considered contenders, but the Fred VanVleet injury, for that reason, I'm going to pump the brakes a little bit. They are a playoff lock team. They're a top 3 team in the Western Conference, in my personal opinion, so I 100% agree with you.
Every NBA team thinks they've got a shot this year, but not everyone's built for it. Some teams look ready to dominate, others are just surviving, and a few are completely lost. From title contenders stacking superstars to rebuilding squads still figuring out who they are, the 2025-26 season is already showing us who's real and who's pretending. Today we're putting every NBA team into a tier list. We got the contender to playoff locks all the way down to teams who should be contending for a #1 overall pick. The Brooklyn Nets are in that tier to tank for the #1 overall pick. They are too young, therefore deep in their rebuild.
The LA Lakers. Now, I am going to be slightly biased, obviously, but I believe they're also a playoff lock team. They have Luka, they're going to have LeBron coming back. There should be, in my opinion, a top 6 team regardless this year. So for that automatically means playoff lock. We'll see where that means in terms of contendership as the season goes.
I personally put the Lakers at 7 in our Western Conference standings prediction. And for that reason, obviously, I want to move into potential play-in spot. But when I'm looking at it, the team is talented. The defense does still concern me though. So that was the reason why I have them in the
even though they're a play-in team, but you probably have them going to the playoffs anyways, don't you?
Yeah, that is true.
So like for that reason, like at the end of the day, I still think they're a playoff lock. That's just me.
Yeah, okay, I'll give that to you. I'll
because
give
like
it to you.
They're a 7 seed.
I do have them when getting out and making the play, making it through the play-in for sure.
Next up is the Dallas Mavericks.
Dallas Mavericks for me is definitely potential play-in. These guys honestly would have been a playoff lock for me if Kyrie Irving was healthy from the beginning, but unfortunately he is not. So for that reason, I am putting him in the potential play-in spot.
I agree with you 100%. Dallas Mavericks fan, listen, just be happy. I know this is coming from a Laker fan. I get it. You still have a solid roster. I understand. Luka being gone is still a big deal because that was your future. But for now, at least you have a talented roster. All right. So there should be a playoff team, in my personal opinion, when it comes down to it, past the play-in spot. But it's hard to predict with Kyrie's injury. Cleveland Cavaliers are up next. I'm putting them in playoff lock. I cannot see them in contendership at the moment with the way they ended the playoffs last two years, because we thought they should have gotten to the finals, probably conference finals for sure. Listen, Darius Garland is out to start the year. You got a good replacement in Lonzo Ball to start the year. I get that Max Strus is injured, so there's still slight injury question marks. And the problem with this team is when you do well during the regular season, the injuries start piling up a little bit later down the stretch, which kind of hurts. I'm in the more to see it to believe it. I want to put them in contenders, but I do not think they're the best team in the Eastern Conference, so I'm putting them in playoff lock.
I 100% agree with you. It's just because of their playoff performances that I don't want to put them in the contendership, because they are the same roster coming back. They're more healthy than other Eastern Conference teams. But just because of that playoff disappointments, I'm going to hold the break on contendership and keep them in playoff lock. Boston Celtics. It's weird to say this, but they're a potential play-in team. The reason why they're a potential play-in team, just because they still have Jaylen Brown, they still have Derek White, they still have Peyton Pritchard, but we all know that Jason Tatum is probably out for... Honestly, I don't know what miraculous turn he's trying to pull off, but I think...
He should be for the year.
He should be out for the year.
The regular season at least.
Out for the regular season. Good news is they're in the East, so they have enough talent to be in a play-in spot, in my opinion.
They did lose other pieces as well. Al Horford, Kristaps Porzingis, Drew Holiday. So replacing those guys were tough. Their center position, in my opinion, seems a little weak at the moment. But they're led by Joe Mazzulla. It's time for Jaylen Brown to show people like why he's one of the highest paid players in the NBA and is a #1 option when it comes down to BA. Atlanta Hawks, I think this is going to be an argument between the both of us, because I am putting them in playoff lock because I have them as a top 3 seed. I believe that their roster is upgraded heavily. They have a roster that should be able to at least get to the second round of the NBA playoffs.
I put them in the play-in spot. Like you said, similar reason for the Lakers. I do have them making the playoff and getting out of the play-in. So for that reason, I'll give it to you as a playoff lock. But I'm going to save that argument for one of my teams a little bit later in the video. So stay tuned for that.
Joe is just baking up his points right now.
I'm baking it up. I'm saving it because I have the exact same reason for another team that I was a little bit more higher on. But I'll give that to you. They are a very talented team, talented roster. I just want to see it to believe it, just because Atlanta, the last few years, and even when they were supposed to be good after making the Eastern Conference Finals, just have been so disappointing. So that's why I'm pumping the brakes on the Hawks personally, but I'll give that playoff lock to you. If you guys are enjoying this video, then smash that subscribe button, because we are posting weekly NBA videos all season long. So for stories, analysis, and just hot takes, hit that subscribe button and join the club. All right, let's speed things up. The Hornets, Suns, and Bulls are in the mid-tier. The Bulls and Suns should be worse without Levine and Durant now, but they have talent like Kobe White and Devin Booker respectively to keep them competitive. The Hornets roster is young and exciting, but they have had their fair share of injuries, preventing them to take the next step. The Clippers and Pistons are a clear playoff locks and look to continue their success.
The Denver Nuggets, easily for me, contenders. This team almost beat the OKC Thunder last year, went 7 games. If it wasn't for Aaron Gordon not being hurt, Aaron Gordon being injured and playing through that hamstring injury, and now you upgraded by getting help for Jokic with JV, who's a solid backup. You brought back Bruce Brown. We'll see what type of Bruce Brown it's gonna be, because at post Nuggets, Bruce Brown wasn't the greatest. And then you make that trade with Cam Johnson, Michael Porter Jr., which, as good as Michael Porter Jr. is, you got a guy who's better defensively and is a great catch and shoot guy. You need that with a guy like Jokic. Yeah, they're by far contenders. They're the one team, even though we both have Thunder winning the championship this year, this team can challenge them and be a champion once again this year.
Yeah, the Denver Nuggets have had a great offseason. They still are very talented. Adelman, for me, just proved why that he could still be a contending head coach or taking a team to being a contender, because he did an incredible job after replacing Mike Malone in the last year's shocking firing. But I agree with you, they are contenders. Moving on to Warriors, who I believe are close to contendership, but they're just missing out for me. I'm putting them in playoff lock. We saw what Jimmy Butler did to this team and how much of a great run they went on last year. They did beat the Houston Rockets in the playoffs, and obviously, unfortunately, Curry and Butler being hurt got destroyed by the Minnesota Timberwolves in the second round. But we saw when healthy, with Curry, Butler, Green, and now they added Al Horford to shore up the center spot. This team is going to be talented. This team is going to be good. And as long as they're healthy, they're a bona fide playoff lock for me.
Yeah, like, I just need to see it a little bit more, because that playoff ending was a little bit disappointing in my personal opinion for them. But the Golden State Warriors should show people why that they might be back into contendership. The Al Horford addition is big because of the size, and he's ageless wonder at the moment and could defend on the perimeter somehow. Obviously get boards, block, and stretch the floor for those guys over there. The Indiana Pacers, similar to the Boston Celtics, I am putting them in potential play-in. The team is still deep enough without Tyrese Haliburton to at least make some noise. You're going to miss Haliburton, his clutch factor. Don't get me wrong, his playmaking ability. But Pascal Siakam is going to show, similar to Jaylen Brown, but he has more to prove that he can be a number 1 player in this league. He's going to show why he's one of the more underrated stars in the NBA, all-stars in the NBA. Is he going to take the superstar jump? No, I don't think that. But what we saw from him on the playoffs was special, because there were nights where he was the number 1 guy. And if they had won the championship, there was a really good case that he could have won NBA Finals MVP, in my personal opinion, as well. And we're going to see jumps from Nembhard and Mathurin and all these guys.
I have faith in the Pacers that they could be, like, I personally put them in a playoff lock. But like you said, the injury to Haliburton, if I'm looking at it in a general view and not my view, I could understand why they're a potential wild card, especially when the Celtics are in there as well. So I would allow them to be in the potential wild card, but I will, even though a part of me does want to push them up. Moving on to the Memphis Grizzlies, I am putting them in mid. They lost Desmond Bane. I know they got a lot of picks in return, but when I'm looking at this team, it's Ja Morant, Triple J, and then there's a fall off. I know Santi Aldama has been pretty solid for them.
Jalen Rose is a good rookie for them.
But when I'm looking at it, these guys are literally one injury away for them to fall off.
All right, here's the argument I'm going to make. We both have him as a 10 seed. That's a potential play-in. That's a play-in lock, if anything. But like,
yeah, that is true.
It was a toss-up between them and another team we're going to talk about that we have in mid, that we're probably going to have in mid later. I feel like with that argument, we both have him as... Personally, yeah. I agree with you. They are a mid team that are going to be a potential play-in team.
They do have the star power.
They have more of the star power.
They do have the star power.
More than these guys here for sure at the moment. Like, these guys, Hornets need to be proven... They're more sort of proved to be healthy and they could get in eventually. I think we got to put them in there. In the Western Conference, that we have them in the 10th seed. That's a potential play-in spot. I agree with you. They are a mid-level team that are going to be the potential play-in, though.
All right, Milwaukee. Potential play-in as well.
Giannis Antetokounmpo is going to put them in potential play-in. Otherwise, they have a fall-off to,
it's
like,
literally
arguably...
similar reasons to Celtics and the Pacers, honestly. That's what it is for Milwaukee.
It's a Giannis show. If Giannis has the potential to put these guys in playoff lock, but we have to be realistic. It is Giannis, and if he does go down, these guys go all the way down to probably tank for number 1. if we're being realistic for these guys. But the Miles Turner addition should help them.
The Heat, Pelicans, Blazers, and Kings are all in the mid-tier. Heat and Pelicans have injury concerns with their star player. The Blazers are still a young team looking to take the next step. And the Kings recreated the Bulls roster from 2 years ago, and that didn't go so well. The Orlando Magic are in the playoff lock tier. They made a big move for Desmond Bane to upgrade their offense, and they are still one of the best defensive teams in the NBA.
The New York Knicks, they're the best team in the Eastern Conference in our opinion. For that automatic reason, I have to put them in contenders because there's got to be a team that's coming out of the Eastern Conference, and it's the Knicks. Yes, playoff lock could be an argument, but they're the only team. We need to put someone from the Eastern Conference.
They have the best
represent them.
opportunity to make the finals, in my opinion. Their team did get better, and it's the same team coming back. So for that reason, I 100% agree with you. And obviously, there's no debate about the next team. They are a contender. We already talked about how good the OKC Thunder are and how good of a future they have after winning an NBA title, which is absolutely insane. So yeah, like there's no debates here. There's no debates for the Knicks, in my opinion. These two teams are bona fide contenders.
The Minnesota Timberwolves. I think this is the one that you're trying to bank
Put
in.
it in playoff lock right now. Because I know you have a potential wild card.
I have them in the 7th seed, but at the end of the day,
You have them making the playoffs.
It's the same argument.
Yeah.
They're going to get into the playoffs, in my opinion. It's just, like, yeah, from them, I'll give it to you because it's the same exact argument for the Lakers.
Yeah.
And I think it was
This is where
kind of the Hawks, but this one is more real. More
this
so
is
the
where I
6-7.
use all of my points against you.
I'll give it to you. It's not because I'm just gonna give you a charity points here. It does make a lot of sense because these two teams should both get into the playoffs regardless of where they finish in the standings in terms of the top 8.
Yeah.
The Philadelphia 76ers, I guess, again, I'm putting them in potential play-in because right at the moment we did see Joel Embiid go on the basketball court. These guys have the ability to go straight to mid if their injuries are going to happen, even down here. But if we do get a half a season of healthy Joel Embiid, a bounce back year and healthy season of Paul George, these guys have potential to go up to playoff lock. But at the moment, we got to see it to believe it. He's still too much of a superstar. We have to give him the respect like we did for Giannis. Except obviously the health factor, and put them in potential play. We both have them as a 10 seed as well.
Potential play-in is probably the safest spot to put the 76ers, depending on their situations. Like you said, they could go up, they could go down. And as much as I hate them, I feel like potential play-in is probably the best spot to put them at the moment, just because we don't know what's going to happen with them, because that's what the Sixers are. We generally don't know.
It's literally the middle of the spot.
Yeah, year in and year out, we don't know what's happening with the 76ers. And joining them in the potential play-in is the San Antonio Spurs. We do have them taking a jump this year, but not enough to be a playoff lock. Just
too much competition in the West.
Yeah, there's too much competition in the West. 2, they are a young team. I feel like the jump is going to be a moderate jump, and that jump they should be taking a jump. That's for sure. That has to happen.
Maybe
this
in
year.
the East they would have been a playoff lock.
Yeah, but that has to happen this year for the Spurs. But that jump is just for a play-in spot.
I am looking at Mitch Johnson to take a step level as a coaching, because like now you are taking over Greg Popovich and you have one of the more talented rosters in recent memory now in that Spurs history.
Talented young rosters. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Wizards and Jazz are in the bottom tier. I wish good luck to the fans, but they do have some young studs. But their NHL teams are gonna be better to watch this year. The Raptors are going in the potential play-in.
You didn't sound confident. Here's it. I'm gonna say it right now. Big question with this team is like the health. Can Darko Rakovic be a good head coach, and the consistency? That we already talked about how their fit is. It's a wonky fit, but they have the talent to do it. They're like personally, they might be a mid team, but they're a good team that I feel like that could be a playoff lock. But they're gonna be more so in the conversation of the potential play-in. Especially if, let's just say, there was a healthy Pacers and Celtics team, they were definitely a potential play-in.
Oh, yeah, that's for sure. But when you look at the situation, and the reason why I want to push playoff or want to push playoff lock is because I don't consider this team as a mid team. When healthy, for me, this is a playoff lock team because this is a very talented team. I know, like you said, the fit is not the perfect. There's a lot of pressure on Jakob Poeltl to deliver just because we don't have any backup big or any center depth in general. But the reason why I put him there, and the reason why it's not like I didn't sound confident putting him there. It's like I said it with like where I wanted to put him in the playoff lock, but I just like held back and like went honest. My biggest question mark is just injuries. It's as simple as that. If the starting 5 can play together for most of the year, I think this team is a playoff lock for sure. But my biggest reason why I put him down is because quickly Barrett, Barnes haven't played together. And on top of that, you add another injury-prone guy like Ingram. It just that honestly, if I question the Sixers injuries, I have to do the same thing with the Toronto Raptors, and that's the reason why I put them in.
Quick question: Western Conference, are they a mid team or still a potential play-in team?
potential play-in.
Okay, so
I'm
you still believe
confident.
that there's talent in the roster you trust in.
If you guys enjoyed this video, then check out our Western Conference standings predictions popping up on screen. So we'll catch you guys over there, and we'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.